packages. 2 of them. They're both the same, as far as I know. So let's open them up. So we have, please remove plastic wrapper from battery or flashlight will not work. Apparently they're flashlights. Some more China Pride ones. Rechargeable ones too. So we got twins, and these are the single cell 18650s or 26650s. They got a so-called claim 4-chip LED. So let's check these out at generic search on eBay. Here at eBay, we have the super bright 100,000 lumens Shadowhawk P70 USB flashlight LED tactical torch. Current price is $18.95 per unit. It is sold here in the United States. It does come out of New York. This is your typical, cheap Chinese little flashlight. It's nowhere as near 100,000 lumens. We'll check it out on the light LuxTube wannabe measuring device that I have, because I'm sure it's nowhere near 100,000 lumens, because a true 100,000 lumen flashlight is well into the $400, $500, $700, $800 range, and not $18.95. So this is just an inexpensive flashlight to tinker around with. Maybe put a little bit better LED in it and make it somewhat worthy to play around with. Just something that's inexpensive. It doesn't nowhere near it as it comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Probably it has a little 500 milliamp battery, but just an inexpensive little cheap flashlight to take it apart and mess around with it. And if you ruin it or it doesn't work out well, then so be it. So this is a little flashlight. It has the capability of taking an 18650 or a 26650 battery. So that's it for this segment of the video. We'll go back to the video already in progress. So there you go. So something that's not outrageously expensive, and maybe has potential of screwing with them. So that's pretty cool. So these are a nice aluminum, even though that they're China Pride. They got a nice smooth reflector and some kind of LED chip in there. Who knows? It's definitely not a Cree. We may put one in there to make it even cooler. So let's see what they give us for a battery. So here's the tail cap. Nice threads though. Not gritty or grindy or anything like that. So we get the typical 18650 with a battery adapter to keep it from rattling around in there. So a no-name 18650. We'll just say it's 500 milliamp hours. That's what we'll give that. But we'll use 26650s to see what it looks like. And it should be pretty much a spot type throw. with some decent spillover. So it gives you the don't drop it carry strap that's looped onto the tail cap. No button on the tail cap, everything is in the front. And of course, that's the firing end, and we have a USB port for charging. So it comes with them little rubber plugs. And then one button does all. So we got the high, low, and annoying strobe, and then off. So 3 mode, technically a 2 mode that's any use. So let's check out to see how much amperage this particular kind of flashlight or torch uses. So we'll take the tail cap off and we'll get the amp clamp meter out, because that's the best way to measure the amperage on a low voltage, potentially high amperage device. So get that out of the way. We'll turn our amp clamp on and we'll set it to DC, and all is happy. And then we'll go ahead and manhandle this. So the inside and the outside are anodized, so we just got just a little bit of a window to play with here. And it's going to be a challenge to take a reading of this one. So on high, it's about 4 amps. So decent amperage. Probably a little higher, probably 5 amps if I put my good batteries in there. But we're not going to do that today. So I'm going to do a curiosity teardown of this thing to see what's in it. So this is a typical brake barrel. So the tail cap comes off, and then the battery barrel comes off. And here's the driver board. So we'll use our newly acquired tool to take out the rings. And of course, if you've seen my previous videos, you know I got this thing on Amazon. So you can go back in my earlier videos and check that out. So we'll go ahead and set this up for dismantling. So here's the reflector with the LED insulator. So not much to look at there. Here's the chip. So that's just a tiny little thing. So we'll see if there's anything interesting under there. Well, at least there's a little heat sink compound under that thing. So that's cool. So this thing is a what do we got here? 25 millimeter die. So in future reference, if I decide to modify this thing to get a 25 millimeter die or LED star to dismantle this thing. So I still got to get this inner one out. So that comes out nicely. And here is the board. Not much to look at. So that's the battery contacts and the negative. And then one board is for the charging of the battery, and the other one is the flashlight board. I think this one's the charging board, and I think this one is the driver board, right there. Or it could be vice versa. Of course, there's no markings on the chip on the bottom there. There's no markings on any of the chips. Yeah, this one's got the one on the bottom here is definitely the charging board, because it has a TP and a couple of numbers. So that's definitely a charging board. So the this bottom chip is the charging circuit for the battery charger, and then this top one here is definitely a driver board for the LED. So that's cool. Not much to this little bugger. So it'll be a nice little canvas to screw with it. Maybe we'll put some kind of board in it. Maybe a different board, or something else interesting. Maybe we'll play with maybe different LEDs instead of the. Because I know there's several different kinds of LEDs for these things. That would be pretty cool to screw with these things to make it one hell of an inexpensive thrower, because that's what this is. It would be more considered to be a thrower type flashlight than a general floodlight. So it's very nice that these things come apart so easily, that you can take these things apart and potentially modify them, because you don't want to spend a small fortune on a flashlight and then go ahead and rip it apart and then, ruin it. Because I do have plans on buying a nice big BLF flashlight and then taking out the LED and putting like a 3560 or a 3590 LED in it. But that light will require a lot of modification and stuff, some tools that I don't have. But it may or may not be a reality. Because first, it's a lot of money. The flashlight is like almost $300, and then another 50 bucks for the LED, and then the modification, like a lathe, and the tools to support a lathe and stuff like that. So yeah, don't know if it'll happen. Probably not. So we successfully tore this apart and checked it out. Got some ideas for a future project. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.